their works will be judged, and there will be that sense of loss or embarrassment for things not done, or maybe things done for the wrong reason. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 13, he said, if I give my body to be burned and give my food or my money to feed the poor, and I don't do it with love, I am nothing. It's wood, hay, and stubble. Now, what about our mission trip this week to Lowry City? Could it be wood, hay, and stubble? And my answer would be absolutely yes. If labor was expended with the wrong heart for the wrong motive, it will burn one day. But if it was done in love for Christ, sacrificially for Him, in love for others, it will be gold, jewels, and precious stones, and it'll last forever. So we can be sure of these two judgments are very different, aren't they? This judgment over here is for the Lord to deliver rewards. Now, what are the rewards He wants to give us? The rewards are primarily crowns, which He has set aside for us. And I'm just going to read a list of these to you. There is going to be a crown of life that God is going to give. A crown of life. And He's going to bestow that upon every believer who has earned that crown, whose work is tried by fire and it endures. There's a crown of rejoicing. And someone may have earned that one this week. It's what's called the soul winner's crown. It's the crown for laboring for people's souls and trying to reach people with the gospel message. There's a crown of righteousness, and many of you will receive this one because this one is for believers who love and expect the Lord's return. So if you're looking back to His coming, if that's on your mind and you want Him to return and it delights you that He's coming back soon, then God says He has a crown of righteousness for all who love His appearing. Two more crowns. One is a special crown that is in Scripture for pastors, for those who labor in church ministry, and it's called the crown of glory. And those who work in ministry overseeing church flocks and shepherd people have a special crown of glory reserved for them, but it's not guaranteed. There'll be a lot of pastors that don't get the crown of glory because they labored for money. They were in it for self-glory. They had hurtful or hateful attitudes and resentfulness in their ministry, so they'll not receive that crown. All their labor, they may have done a lot, they may have preached a lot of sermons, but they'll be burned up with like wood, hay, and stubble. And lastly, 1 Corinthians 9 tells us that there's a incorruptible crown, and this is a very special one for anyone who has mastery over their life. You don't allow your human nature to run the show. And this one may be the hardest of all to attain. I see a lot of you nodding. It is a battle. And Paul said he buffeted his body. He like a boxer. He said, I beat my old nature into submission because my old nature wants to go the other way and do other things, but the spirit in me desires what will honor God. So the incorruptible crown. And the reason it's called that is because in ancient times there was a judgment seat in most cities. And whenever there was an athletic contest, what we would call the mayor, whoever the magistrate of the town was, would present the winning athlete with a crown, a laurel wreath made out of leaves. And it would be placed on the person's head as a sign that they were the champion, they were the winner. Well, that crown of leaves would soon wilt. It would decay in a matter of days. And so Paul uses the term a incorruptible crown will be given to all those who gain mastery over their old nature and they're able to live in Christian maturity. There's a special crown for those folks. Many of you have heard me share how back in 1994, Cindy's family, we were living in Texas, Cindy and I, and her parents and their children that were still in the home were living in Greenfield, Missouri, about an hour and 15 minutes south of here by Stockton. We got a phone call that night of a terrible fire. The house burnt down. It was an old 1930s all-wood building. It went up fast. Cindy's mother and father got out. Cindy's sister Sarah was pulled out of a window. But her brother John, 27 years old, did not get out of the fire. Cindy's father tried to go back in for him. It was just too hot. He was burned. When I came up here the next morning, his head was the size of a pumpkin. It was just, I never thought he'd look normal again.